Hello guys, before we do start this playoff prediction video, I would like to make sure that you know that all the timestamps are in the comment section below and also in the description, so if you do only want to watch the team that you're cheering for or a certain conference, or maybe just who you want to win the Stanley Cup and stuff, then make sure to read the timestamps and go to your timestamp that you want to watch. Okay, enjoy the video. Hey guys, it's McSuper and welcome to my Stanley Cup playoff predictions for our play-in tournament and the Stanley Cup playoffs entirely. We'll do the play-in tournament and the regular playoff brackets. We will do our predictions today. It might be a little bit of a long video, I don't know, but it's gonna be fun. So happy Sunday to you all, July the 26th. We are a week away from the start of the play-in tournament. This week, we are going to do today the predictions. And throughout Monday to Friday, we will be doing previews for every single first round play-in series. So expect 2 or 3 previews per day. We will be starting with the Eastern Conference previews tomorrow and Tuesday as well, and then on Wednesday and Thursday we will do the Western side. So stay tuned, it's going to be fun. And then you might be asking, will I still do gaming videos next week? Yes, I will. I will be doing Pokemon Sword and Shield tomorrow, and we will do our regularly scheduled videos. Alright, so let's get into the predictions. I don't want to waste y'all's time. Let's start off with the Eastern side. Let's start off with the Toronto Maple Leafs against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This series is pretty entertaining, I would say. The Toronto Maple Leafs, their offense is very, very lethal and potent. We saw through the 70 games, Austin Matthews with 47 goals, and then William Nylander's 31 and John Tavares 26. Their top 2 lines, very good. But the Toronto goaltending, a little bit not up to par. We have Frederik Andersen, .915 save percentage. That's near the bottom among goaltenders with 1,000 minutes played or more. He had to play a lot because Maple Leafs had a lot of backup issues. But will the extra time off allow him to get his game back? We don't know. But if we consider goaltending, we will say that Elvis Merzlikins with a .931 save percentage on the Columbus side, or Jonas Korpisalo, .926 save percentage for Columbus. So the goaltending, Columbus gets the edge for sure. But Columbus does struggle with scoring, 125 goals to Toronto's 158. So, yeah. But this pause does very, very much help Columbus's injuries, because they've had a lot of injuries. So, this little pause will help them a lot. So therefore, we will give the edge to Columbus. I'll give Columbus here in 4 games. As you know, the first round of the play-in tournament, the 24 teams, is best of 5. So, I'll say Columbus in 4 games. The next seed we have is the Penguins and the Canadiens. I don't know if this is how the bracket's gonna work. I hope it is. I assume it will be. Let me look at my notes real quick first. Alright, the Penguins and the Canadiens. The Penguins were 4 points behind the Capitals for the Metro lead. But the Canadiens, they weren't going to make the playoffs. The Canadiens only won 19 games in the regular season in regulation. My goodness. Montreal, kind of middle pack of goals against and shots against. Save percentage 917. The Canadiens experienced 2 8-game losing streaks. But somehow they are still here. The Penguins, on the other end, have Matt Murray and Tristan Jarry as their goaltenders. Pretty good. The Penguins lost a lot of people to injury, but they will probably recover. Jake Gensel will be back, probably. He was ruled out for 4 to 6 months in December. He should be back, which is very good. This will be a series featuring a team with major injuries every week. And also, it's a short series, so a hot goalie can potentially steal games. Which brings us to Carey Price from Montreal. He hasn't been as much of his dangerous self. He's only 32nd in even strength save percentage of 919 and 32nd in goals above average. So, however, I cannot go against the Penguins here. I will give this to the Penguins. I would say in a sweep 3 games, but Montreal might make it competitive. You never know. Brackets have been shattered in the past. You never know. Alright, next series is New York against... I don't even know what that logo is. I think it's New York against Florida. Yes. Alright. In this break, the Islanders and the Panthers were not in a playoff position. But they weren't far from it. The Islanders were skidding badly. But the Panthers, they were in the playoff bubble. And they weren't really there, but the Islanders skidded a lot. Florida got their new head coach, Joel Quenneville, and that might have helped them. The offense will rely heavily on Barkov, Dadonov, Huberdeau, and Hoffman for Florida. Very nice. But the Islanders, they would be entering a resumption of play in a 7-game losing streak. The slide coming back from mid-February, winning only 2 of their last 13 games. The Islanders did have a 17-game point streak, however, but that was very, very early in the season where the Islanders were having a stranglehold in the Eastern Conference. The season series is in favor of the Islanders, 3-0-0 this meeting. Injuries, Johnny Boychuk should be back on the Islanders. Casey Cizikas as well. I don't think I have much to say about this series, but based on standings here, I would think that the Islanders are going to edge this in 5 games. It's a little bit of a close one here. And the last series here, we have Carolina and New York. It was a pretty tight race in the bottom of the Metro. And the East 2 wildcard places, the Hurricanes stayed there for a big part of the season. Hurricanes at 81 points in the top wildcard spot with 2 games in hand on the Rangers. The Rangers is a franchise transition. They're not really rebuilding, but we thought they would be. We would think that Artemi Panarin is a Hart Trophy candidate because of Benajad with 41 goals this year and Tony DeAngelo with 53 points. Chris Kreider, 20 goals. Good stuff. The Rangers have a lot of goaltender issues, but we don't know who's going to play. The Hurricanes will probably get Dougie Hamilton and Sammy Vatanen back on the blue line. And Brett Pesce may not be back in time. His timeline was 4 to 6 months back in March. But will this Rangers team from Igor Shesterkin, who returned from injuries in a car accident before the pause, or will Coach David Quinn go for Georgiev or Lundqvist? We don't know, but here I will give the edge to the Hurricanes based on the more bolstery blue line, I would say. I will give the Hurricanes a small edge here. Alright, let's... Oh, I forgot. Did I say who would win? Carolina, right? Carolina in 4 games is my prediction here. Okay, let's go to the West. Let's go to Calgary and Winnipeg. Both teams were trending in a kind of difficult direction. I would say that... it's been tough. It's been tough for both these teams who are struggling around the playoff bubble. Just give me a second, I'm looking for my notes here. Sorry about this. Alright, let's get started here. On the top, we have the Flames and the Jets. The Flames offense has been a big roller coaster, and they only ranked 20th in the league in goals per game this season. They have a bit of firepower on the front end, but the Jets, they have a lot of firepower. They have
turning our driveways into auto shops.
They have 17. They're ranked 17th in goals per game, but they're not questioning the merits of Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, Kyle Connor, Patrick Laine, Nikolai Ehlers. In the defense, we look at the goals against numbers. Winnipeg does look better. The Jets rank 10th in goals allowed, and Flames are tied for 16th. But Calgary has a strong defensive group with Mark Giordano, a Norris Trophy winner, and the Jets, they've been bailed out more from goaltending this season. So I would give an edge to Calgary in defense. Special teams, pretty similar. The Jets do have Connor Hellebuck in goal, which is a very, very good goaltender. Possibly the best goaltender in the league this season, with a .922 save percentage and a 2.24 goals against average in 58 games played. That is definitely going to beat out David Riddick or Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot, .919 save percentage. Riddick, .907. Calgary, not the best in defense, but you can't expect Hellebuck to bail out your kind of meh defense. So I will give the edge to the Flames here in 5 games. Next series is the Oilers and the Blackhawks. I'll go to my notes real quick. Alright. In offense, these two teams are more similar than you think. The Oilers are tied in 14th in goals per game. Blackhawks are ranked 18th. The Oilers have possibly the best player in the world, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on their first line. They've had so many points this season. I don't remember how many points did Connor McDavid get this season. I believe over 100 in their games played this season. I'm looking real quick. I know I haven't rehearsed my stuff. Now you had 97 points in 64 games this season. very, very good. I'd say that's very, very good. Oop, I lost my notes. Bear with me here. I'm doing this live. Alright. 97 points for McDavid. Draisaitl as well. Very similar. And the top of their lineup, very, very good. And they'll get a lot of ice time and they will explode on these Blackhawks. They still have Kaylor Yamamoto and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
When it comes to turning our driveways into auto shops,
That's very, very effective. But Chicago still has Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves leading the charge up front, and we have Dominic Kubalik, which a very good rookie with 30 goals in 68 games, and we also have Dylan Strome, Alistair Brinkett, Nylander, and Kirby Dach. But that, unfortunately, I do not think that can beat out the Edmonton Oilers' offense. Defense is very similar between these teams. The Oilers have one of their best power play this season, 29.5% power play. Edmonton has a very good offense. Goaltending, I would say Chicago's a little bit better here. We have Robin Lehner and Corey Crawford. That, I think, beats out the Oilers' Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen, who have struggled occasionally, but I think the Oilers' offense can trump all this stuff. So I will give the Oilers the win here in 4. Next game is Canucks and Wild. I am a Canucks fan. Will I vote for the Canucks? Let's take a look. Both of these teams rank in the top half of the league in the offense category. The Canucks are 8th in goals per game, and the Wild are 12th, which is very good. Very good indeed. But they both rank in the bottom half in shots per game. The Canucks have 18th and Minnesota 25th. The Canucks have a little bit more power offensively with Pettersson, Besser, and Horvat, with Quinn Hughes, the potential Calder winner, on the blue line. And they still have JT Miller, Tyler Toffoli, and Tanner Pearson in the top 6. The Wild scoring is mostly carried by Kevin Fiala this season. In the first full season with Minnesota, they have veterans such as Eric Stahl and Zach Parise and Matt Zuccarello, but the Canucks should have the edge in offense. Canucks does give 3.1 goals per game. Minnesota 3.14. It's been a tough year for these guys. Minnesota has a very solid defensive group with Suter, Spurgeon, Brodin, and Dumba. Canucks have a very good power play, 24.2%, 4th in the league, but that has dropped a lot. The Canucks did drop off prior to this reopen of the season, the play-in tournament. Canucks also have an edge in penalty killing. This league shutdown will have helped the Canucks in that Jacob Markstrom will be back. The Canucks struggled because Markstrom was injured, and he stole a lot of games. Markstrom 918 save percentage, and very good goals against average as well in 43 games this season. Wild goaltending has been very, very inconsistent. We have Alex Steinlock and Devin Dubnyk. Devin Dubnyk struggled a lot in net. Again, Canucks have the advantage. I'll give this to the Canucks in 4 games. Nashville and I almost said Phoenix. It's Arizona. Let's look at my notes. Alright, the Preds and the Coyotes. The offensive units can be very frustrating in that they have a lot of talent but don't seem to score. The Predators, they have scored a lot of goals per game. They're 16th in the NHL. But they have a lot of offensive regression after John Hines took over as head coach in January. They were a better team. Their offense did take a dip. They only have one forward, Philip Forsberg, with over 20 goals this season. Coyotes, they haven't done much at all. Phil Kessel and Taylor Hall with the front end of their lineup. Nick Schmaltz is Arizona's leading scorer with 45 points in 70 games. They also only have one 20-goal scorer this year, which is Connor Garland. In defense, we have Roman Josi, Ryan Ellis, and Matthias Ekholm for Nashville. Coyotes, they have thrived in keeping goals on their own net, and their third goals against per game. Special teams, we will see Arizona 19.2 in the power play, 82.7 on the penalty kill. The Preds struggle on special teams, 25th in the league in power play and 29th in penalty killing. Arizona have another very good goaltender. They're third in collective save percentage at 919. We have Darcy Kemper with 928 save percentage. He might have won the Vezina if he didn't get hurt during the season, but he will be back, of course. Antti Ranta and Aiden Hill have filled in pretty admirably. Nashville, goaltending with Pekka Rinne, an 895 save percentage, but they have been bailed out by Jussi Saros, a 940 save percentage in 16 games for Nashville. Nashville, I will give them the edge, as I think Saros can beat out Kemper, and that the Predators have a slight edge in 5 games. Okay, now let's go for the second round. I will not be doing any in-depth analysis here. In the second round, we have the first seed winner versus the winner of the 8th seed and the 9th seed. I will guess the first to 4th seed for the top 4 teams. I will give number 1 to the Boston Bruins. It would be Boston Bruins versus Columbus, not Toronto. No, you're not seeing that again. Boston and Columbus, I will give that to Boston in 5 games. Tampa will get number 2 in my opinion. Tampa will be facing off against the New York Islanders, and I'll give that to Tampa in 5 games. The 3rd seed, I believe, will be the Washington Capitals. Washington against Carolina. I'll give that to Washington in 5 games. And Philadelphia will be the 4th seed against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, I'll give them that in 5 games as well. On the western side, we have the 1st seed, which I believe will be the Avalanche. They will face off against Calgary in the first round. I'll give the edge to the Avalanche in 5 games. The 2nd seed, I believe, will be the St. Louis Blues, and they will face off against the Canucks, where the Canucks will not win that one, I don't think. St. Louis will win that in 6 games. The 3rd seed will be the Vegas Golden Knights, in my opinion, and they will face off against the Nashville Predators, and that the Vegas Golden Knights will win that in 5 games. And then the 4th seed will be the Dallas Stars, who will face off against the Oilers, and that the Oilers will win that in 6 games. Now let's go to the round 2 of the regular playoff bracket. You won't see this here, but I'll try to remember what has happened so far. In the top bracket, we have Boston versus the 4th seed. Boston versus Pittsburgh in that. Boston's going to win that in 6 games. And then we have the 2nd seed, which is the New York Islanders against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I give that to Tampa, and Tampa will face off against, I don't remember it all here. 3rd seed was Washington. It's Tampa versus Washington. I'll give that to Tampa in 5 games. So the final in the East will be Boston versus Tampa. On the right side, we have, in the 1st seed bracket, we have the Avalanche versus the Oilers. Now, give that actually to the Oilers in 7 games. That's a very big upset I have here. On the bottom, we have the Vegas Golden Knights against Is it the Vegas? No. Is it the Vegas Golden Knights? Oh, we will be St. Louis Blues against the Vegas Golden Knights. And that St. Louis will win that. So this will be St. Louis and the Oilers in the West. In the East will be Boston and Tampa in the conference finals. I'll give that to Boston in 6 games. In the West it will be the Avalanche. No, the Oilers, sorry. Oilers versus St. Louis. And that, I will give that to the Oilers in 7 games. So the final will be Boston versus the Oilers. And this is such an upset. I'm giving the Oilers the Stanley Cup. I want the Oilers to win. I don't know why. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, prove me right. I want my Canucks to win, but it is what it is. Oilers in 6 games in the final. This is so weird, but my bracket is probably completely wrong, but whatever. Alright, thank you guys for watching my long prediction video, and we will see you guys tomorrow for Eastern previews. We will do probably Pittsburgh and Montreal, and then we will do Carolina and New York as well. Alright, as always, it's time for us to go, and see you guys tomorrow. So this will be our bracket, so read this carefully. And we'll see you guys soon.